Well, I mean, it's an awesome lead, and Richard, you spend a huge amount of time both advising and, as you said, investing. What is it? I mean, you mentioned earlier, Michael, sort of 1,400 cryptocurrencies. What is it that you look for, Richard? What would you say that people should look for? I mean, there are literally hundreds of ICOs. I can't remember the exact number. Launching virtually daily. How do people determine between something with substance, like you just mentioned there, what Michael said, versus just an airy-fairy thing that's going to fail?
Well, it's interesting. So, as I've been angel investing for over 10 years, I have about 45 investments. Some of my investments include Tesla Motors and Facebook, but I also have lots of companies that don't exist anymore, either because they were acquired or they died. And what I've found, and this is only my own thesis, is I'm not an engineer, and so I always co-invest with people who are very technical, although I have some engineering background. I always look at the team first. And so I start with looking at who are the team, and I specifically in this area, my expertise in the places I invest is usually software, financial services, very technical propositions with token offerings. And so I look at the team and I look at who's the engineering team, who's the CTO. I look at his GitHub. I go on GitHub, I look at the rest of the team. I try and find if this team has actually contributed to other open source projects. Decentralization and crypto are really decentralized projects, and anyone who's working in decentralization probably has also worked on other open source software. I then go to LinkedIn and I look at the leadership team, and I look at who they know and who I know, if we have shared contacts that maybe didn't introduce us, and I go and vet them that way. I then try and spend some time getting to know the management team before I ever speak to them. So maybe they've had one inbound call, but before I go back, I did this with you, Scott, actually. I went and looked at sort of writings, public communications, messaging. I just try and get a feel for who this person is. And based on that sort of social proof and sort of team validation layer, then I start to go deeper into the proposition, into the market size, sort of all the basic fundamentals you learn sort of from, it's an excellent book by Jason Calacanis on investing in startups. I think everyone should read it. And you run through the basic process. But I always begin with team. I think team matters the most. I think the social proof of who else is involved in the project matters. And I think how big is the market opportunity and how much does this team really understand the market? Those are really the things I look for.
Excellent. David, anything from your side that you would add to that?
Yes, definitely. I would add in a broader sense, if we are not only talking about blockchain startups and blockchain-based or token ICO opportunities, which share the zeitgeist of what they do and why they do it. In a broader sense, I would add a fundamental criterion: timing. There are so many buzzwords, so many things that are always there to explode, right? Virtual reality, Internet of Things. The first time I used the virtual reality goggles and virtual reality gloves for manipulating objects was 1991. Actually, 1990. So it was 27 years ago, and there have been countless startups that failed in bringing virtual reality to the masses. Augmented reality, virtual reality, is it now here to stay? It is a very important question for those who invest in those startups. So timing is fundamentally important.
Yeah, look, I very much agree with that, and we've got a couple more questions, and then I'm going to just talk a little bit about the wealthy coin. And for me, I also believe that if we've spoken a lot tonight about supply and demand, and to really get mass adoption, it's got to be something that's easy and that people truly understand.